Massive overhauls are reforming Kentucky's juvenile justice system. They're designed to keep more students in class and out of detention centers. Under a new state law, many students who are accused of crimes will no longer be sent to jail or reform schools. But could that be dangerous for students who don't have behavioral issues? We ask a school administrator who was part of a pilot program for the new discipline policies. Mark Barber investigates juvenile justice.
Students who would have been suspended or jailed for nonviolent, low-level misdemeanors or felonies like drug trafficking or stealing could now go to therapy or counseling instead. The Administrative Office of the Courts championed the new law, Senate Bill 200, because they think too many students are being shipped to detention centers for minor offenses like skipping school.
It could even be as simple as working with a family resource center to help a child get an alarm clock to help wake them up in the mornings.
Many school administrators say their greatest fear is the new law will lead to more classroom disruption. They say students who want to learn will now be in class with students who would otherwise be in court or a detention center for their behavior issues, along with dropouts who will need to readjust to the classroom after spending months or even years out of school.
We're not going to just allow total chaos in the classroom.
Steve Hill is a pupil personnel director for Fayette County Schools. He was in that position in Scott County last year when they piloted the new discipline policy.
If behavior escalates, it got bumped to a judge. I mean, our teachers are professionals. They're all master level, brilliant people that will address those issues as they come forward.
Alan Zolman has a different perspective on how the law could play out.
We had to keep the students, the disruptors, in the class to the detriment of the whole class.
He testified before the U.S. Commission on Civil Rights about how his students' behavior changed when their discipline policies changed.
I had a middle school 8th grader who just continued to talk over me. And she said, "I'm going to torture you. I can't be removed. I can't be removed." And so they know that they're in there and that they can do pretty much what they want.
Zolman taught for 8 years in a large urban school district in the Northeast that passed some policies similar to Kentucky's new law. He thinks the changes that happened in his class could also happen here.
It can happen in any classroom. You only need a couple of kids who don't want to learn.
When we took that concern to the Administrative Office of the Courts and asked if taking the power to discipline students away from schools and courts could lead to more disruption in Kentucky classrooms.
I don't have a good answer for that, in the sense that I'm not really sure. I mean, our hope always is that we give kids the tools and the resources and the support to make better decisions.
Hill says he's not concerned.
We're still going to maintain the code of conduct, the requirements of that, of children's behavior. We're going to make sure that that's followed. You won't notice a negative result of this.
So how will all this work? Groups called FAIR teams will carry out the new law. They will handle cases that are not violent with court-designated workers. FAIR teams, along with county attorneys, will decide whether misbehaving students will go to something like a talking circle or whether they need to be enrolled in mental health treatment or some other remedial program. The teams will also have the ability to decide if an offense is serious enough for a judge. In the newsroom, Mark Barber, WKYT.
The FAIR teams will be made up of people in the community and will include the pupil personnel director in each school district. The director can go back to a student's school with information about their case, but only if the treatment program the student needs is run by the school.